The Harry Potter movie series is great, but have you ever wondered what Harry Potter would look like if it was in an anime, and the protagonist was Saitama from One Punch Man? Well, that's where Mashle Magic and Muscles comes in. I knew nothing about this anime before I started watching it, and that honestly made the experience better, as I had no idea just how goofy and funny this anime would be, as the anime initially presents itself as a magic anime where social status is determined by how powerful you are. The world itself is low-key dark, as they kill or abandon anyone that can't use magic. I say low-key because this isn't an anime that takes itself very seriously after the first episode, and that works to its benefit. And honestly, its likeness to Harry Potter is pretty clear and helps to set a more light-hearted tone for the anime. From the school's design itself, to the school's principal looking like Dumbledore, to the fact that they even play a sport that is near identical to that of Quidditch seen in Harry Potter. This is something that I found pretty funny with how this anime just blatantly borrows a lot of ideas from Harry Potter. But regardless of its connection to Harry Potter, the anime itself is pretty enjoyable, and makes it clear right out of the gate that this is a comedy anime as soon as they introduce Mash. Mash is a person who possesses zero magic, or as they would call him in Harry Potter, a muggle. And while he doesn't possess any magic, he does have ungodly strength, which might as well be his magic. He is also one of the funniest characters I have ever watched in an anime, and a lot of that isn't even intentional. Like when you see him exercising for the first time, with him doing an absurd amount of weightlifting in such a short time that it leaves all the animals in the forest terrified. The anime starts off kind of serious, with his adoptive father being threatened by a magic user named Brad Coleman, which is one of the most generic names ever, but I digress. After Mash beats Brad's ass, Brad makes a deal with Mash that if he is able to become a divine visionary at Eastern Magic Academy, then no one will ever hunt down him or his adoptive father ever again. And without a second of hesitation, Mash agrees. This is the basic plot of this anime, Mash working towards becoming a divine visionary. There are enemies he encounters, but they are barely of any threat to him considering, you know, he's so strong to the point that he can throw someone into the ground. From this point onwards, the serious nature goes out the window in favor of pure comedy. And while I wasn't into the art style at the beginning when it was all serious, when it shifted into comedy, I found the art style really helped to complement the funny and satirical tone of the anime way more than I expected it to, which really helped to improve my overall enjoyment of the anime. As when Mash is taking the entrance exam, there are some hilarious scenes that show off just how strong he is, like how he busts through walls like they're nothing and saves a girl named Lemon from failing, who in the process obviously falls in love with him. But Mash is unlike any other anime protagonist because being the absolute unit he is completely unfazed by any of her advances and shows no reaction to her whatsoever, which is something that he does to every single character in this anime. This lack of emotion makes every situation he's in a lot funnier, because it doesn't matter whether he's flinging bugs 1,000 feet into the air or having a conversation with a friend, he still has the same stone-faced expression. And I love that everyone else's reaction is overly exaggerated, as it helps to emphasize the ridiculousness that happens in this anime. The side characters Mash encounter all come with their own unique enough personality and design to make them easily distinguishable from one another, like his roommate Finn Amos, who is the least interesting character of the bunch and just exists to be bullied or to be scared. Then there's Lance Crown, who is basically just Gouch Adlai from Black Clover, reason being because they are both overly obsessed with their younger sister, which is a trope that I have come to find annoying, but even with this aspect of him, he manages to be a pretty likable and interesting character, especially whenever he interacts with Mash. Finally, my personal favorite side character, Dot Barrett. The reason I like him so much is because he refers to himself as the main character of this anime, mainly because he wants girls to like him. So when he sees Mash getting all the attention from the girls, it's this pretty hilarious jab at him not being the main character, and also making fun of the trope at just how easily the main character can get all the girls. And on top of this, Dot has no social skills whatsoever. He's super aggressive to everyone around him, hates any handsome looking men, and gets nosebleeds whenever he sees any girls. But it's how energetic Dot is that really makes me enjoy his character so much. But the cream of the crop of entertaining characters, if it wasn't already obvious, has to be Mash. Everything this man does is either hilariously over-exaggerated or a complete contradiction of the word reason. Like how Mash is able to rip doors off their hinges. And you might be thinking, well, at least that seems reasonable. However, what is completely unrealistic is that Mash can fly with only the power of his leg strength and nothing else. Now, I don't know how many excuses there are for a character to fly like this, but you would need to do some serious mental gymnastics for that one. And I'm not saying this as a criticism to this anime. The anime is about magic, so it's not exactly going for realism, and all the crazy shit that Mash does is genuinely entertaining, and I often find myself laughing at whatever insane thing he's doing, like how no matter what he tries to cook, it will always be cream puffs, regardless of the ingredients. Even if he follows the exact steps to a completely different recipe, it will always still end up being cream puffs, which honestly might be Mash's actual magic ability, because you would need some sort of magic magic to make this power of his make sense. But even with all the crazy stuff he does, what I enjoy the most about him is probably his personality, because he will just nonchalantly go out there and suplex some woman without showing any emotion whatsoever. And his responses are always satirical and super oblivious, and it makes the anime so much funnier than it should be. I should also mention that the soundtrack for this anime is one of the most wild and unique soundtracks I've heard in a long while. And while the plot of this anime isn't super deep, as it only really focuses on him going up against House Lang and its students, it doesn't have to be. What this anime delivers on is the comedy between the characters and the way they interact with each other. I always enjoy when voice actors are able to get expressive with their characters because it makes the characters more entertaining and worthwhile to invest in. And here it is done incredibly well. While this anime isn't some prophetic, groundbreaking work of art, what it is really fun to watch. Aside from episode 1, there hasn't been a dull moment in the anime so far. I wouldn't go into this anime expecting a masterpiece, but if you're after an anime that will get a good laugh out of you and keep you entertained from basically start to finish, then I cannot recommend Mashle Magic and Muscles enough. It kept me fulfilled, and I reckon it will for all of you as well. Thanks to everyone for watching this video. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all in the next one.